What's up YouTube, it's Ghostwriter15 here, and today's video is going to be a Edison format deck profile of my Dragon Turbo deck. So let's just get right to it. First we have triple Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. This is the boss monster of the deck. It's a staple. Nothing else to say much about this. Next we have 3 Blue Eyes. The best level 8 in this deck because it's so easy to search with Whitestone. You have to play it. Next we have 3 Whitestone. This is the best Cards of Consonance target in this deck. It's a +1 sometimes, and it's the way you search Blue Eyes. Next up is 3 Debris Dragon. This is a really good tuner in this deck. It helps you OTK. It lets you bring out another dragon from the graveyard, so you can go double Red Eyes. You can also go Bryonic with this, and it's for Cards of Consonance as well, so very strong card. And then just one Flamvell Guard. You need one more Cards of Consonance target, and I think this is the best one. But you only play one because it doesn't really do much else besides being a Cards of Consonance target. And there are a few times where you can use it to make a Bryonic when you have Quackimero Drago on the board, because it's not a light or a dark monster. Speaking of Quackimero Drago, we play 1. This card secures your OTKs. It stops light and darks from being special summoned. You have to be careful with this because there are times where you can lock yourself out from summoning Red Eyes, but overall it's a very strong card and you need to play it. And I'm testing out 1 Vortex Trooper. I think this card is amazing. It helps you unbrick your hands. It lets you draw a card when it's destroyed in any way. Also, it's a good target for Debris Dragon to make Black Rose. I'm not sure what the correct number on this is. I played 3 at the tournament I made top 8 with, but that felt like a little too much. Right now I'm testing 1, but I think I might bump it up to 2. And then just one Tragodia. I'm not playing Gores because in this deck I like to set a lot of cards to resolve a big rejuve, so Gores doesn't trigger when they attack. This always does, and because I'm playing a lot of cards that draw, this card gets pretty big, and it's also really good to steal monsters. And then for the spells, we're playing 3 Upstart. It's a staple in this deck. You have to play it because you're always trying to draw in this deck, and this deck has a few consistency issues, so this helps solve the problem with that. Next up, 3 Trade-In, staple. You get rid of your big level 8 monsters to help you go into your deck faster. Same idea with Cards of Consonance. Same thing, you draw 2. It's a +1 with Whitestone, so it's really good. And then we're playing, of course, 3 Rejuve. This is a heart and soul of this deck besides Red Eyes. This is how you draw your entire deck to set you up for the OTK. And then 2 Instant Fusion. I like 2 because sometimes you're not able to win on the turn you activate the first one, so you can use it again. Yeah, you can get it back with Magical Stone, but I'd rather say Magical Stone for other cards. Next up, speaking of Magical Stone, we play 2. It's a staple. You have to play this. If you recycle Super Rejuve with this, you're drawing so many cards sometimes. You can even grab back Heavy Storm or Giant Trunade. This card's insane. Just 1 Pot of Avarice. You don't need 2. There's a lot of times where this card is dead. You don't want to open to. You really want to see it after you resolve a lot of dragons and they're sent to the graveyard. So 1 is fine. And then we play Future Fusion. Future Fusion is a staple in this deck. It's the best spell in this deck. You get a plus 3 with Whitestone. You get to add 3 blue eyes to your hand, and it also lets you dump cards like Quackimero Drago, so you can OTK your opponent faster. It thins out your deck. It sets up Pot of Avarice to be activated right away. This card is amazing. And then another amazing spell that we play is Card Destruction. In this deck, it's extremely broken. If you have a handful of dragons and you discard them all and you draw into Rejuve, you're going to be drawing so many cards, and that easily sets you up for the OTK. And then we play, of course, Heavy Storm and Giant Trunade. These cards help you to go for the OTK. Back row can be annoying for this deck. Cards like Royal Oppression, cards like Torrential, Bottomless. You just activate one of these cards and you're free to go off. That's it for the spells, and for the traps we only played 3. 3 Reckless Greed. I think this card is a staple in this deck. A lot of builds that I've seen around don't play this card, and I don't understand why. It's like a Pot of Greed, yeah, but you do have to wait. But it's fine because usually most decks will give you a chance to resolve it. And once you do resolve it, this deck is able to do some insane stuff because you can just keep drawing and go through your whole deck. So that's the entire deck. It's 40 cards, and I'll show off the extra. Keep in mind, I am proxying 2 cards in this deck because I haven't received them yet, but I'm getting them soon. So first we have Dragoness of the Wicked. I don't see a lot of Dragon Turbo players playing this card, but I don't understand why. I think it's pretty good. Maybe it's not a staple, but there are times when you can make something like Ancient Fairy Dragon to special summon a Drago from your hand, and then you make Stardust, so you have a turn 1 Drago and Stardust, which is pretty decent against some decks. I think it's good. I play it. Next up, we have 2 Darkfire Dragon. I was playing 1 for a while, but now that I'm playing 2 Instant Fusion, I think 2 is better. There are times where you need the second copy to summon your other Red Eyes. It doesn't come up all the time, but there are times where you do need to do that play, and I've learned the hard way, so now I play 2 for sure. And then we have, for our level 5 targets, Mariner and Musician King. Mariner is a water monster, so you need it when you have Quackimero Drago on board and you need to make something like Brionic. And then Musician King, I used to play Tempest Magician, so that's the reason I played Musician King. But now that I don't play it, this can literally be any level 5 fusion. Next up, 5-headed dragon. It's a staple. You use it to activate Future Fusion, and that's what you summon 2 turns later. And now for the synchros. This one I'm proxying for now. It's Armory Arm. You can make it with a Whitestone and a Vortex Trooper. It doesn't come up too often, but there are a few times where you can make it to get over stuff like Kalut, or you can do burn damage to go for game. Next up is Catastor. Also doesn't come up a lot, but there are a few times it will. It gets over stuff like Machina Fortress, so I do play 1 copy. Next up, Goyo Guardian. Also doesn't come up too often either, but there are times where you can easily make it with instant fusion and white stone. So that's an easy way to steal an opponent's monster. Next up is Brionic. This is the main extra deck monster that you go into. This is how you OTK. And it's also a discard, so it combos really well with Super Rejuvenation. And then Iron Chain. It's just a generic level 6 dragon monster. The effect is not good at all, but sometimes you use it so you can synchro this with the Breeze Dragon, and you can go into Trident Dragon. For the level 7s, I'm playing Ancient Fairy Dragon and Black Rose. These are so easy to make with Vortex Trooper. The one you usually make is Black Rose when you're trying to clear the board, and you can follow up with Instant Fusion plus Red Eyes, and sometimes that's an OTK. Then we have Stardust Dragon as the only level 8. I feel like this is the only level 8 that's worth running. Its effect is really good. It can protect you from stuff like Absolute Zero, so I think it's worth playing. And then for the last synchro monster is Trident Dragon. I currently don't have it, but I'm getting it soon. This is another way to go for OTKs. When you summon this card, you destroy 2 cards on your field and lets you attack 3 times, so that's 9,000 damage total by itself. In this deck, there are times when you can easily do that, and it just steals games. And as for the side deck, it really just depends on the meta you're playing against. It really depends on your locals. If there's a lot of players playing a certain deck, you just side for that. I will say the only ones that are staple for sure are Lightning Vortex and Royal Decree, so you can get around back row and around floodgates like Fossil Dyna, Thunder King, Vanity's Fiend, stuff like that. But yeah, besides that, side deck really just depends on your meta and your locals. So that's it. Hope you like this deck profile. Please like and subscribe. This is Ghost Rider 15 signing out.